and welcome back to Good Morning Lancaster. I'm Timothy Lloyd Judson.
And I'm Charlotte John. Thank you for joining us.
Today we will be joined by Hazel and Will from the LGBTQ+ Society.
But first, let's bring you up to date with the latest news headlines.
The Ethnic Diversity Committee put on a special event which brought together artists and performers from throughout the UK. The night was hosted at Grisdale College and featured music, dance, poetry, art and spoken word from a range of performers. The event was a huge success and empowering for those who were there.
Lancaster University staff have started their organised 14-day strikes over pensions. Members of the University and College Union started last Thursday, but it hasn't just affected Lancaster. 63 other universities across the country have also been affected. The strike has been the biggest ever seen at Lancaster and is planned to continue for nearly 2 weeks.
Although the strikes are still ongoing, talks are scheduled to take place today. The announcement of talks has raised hope amongst some as an early resolution to the action.
A review by the university has revealed that there were a large amount of assaults on NHS staff. In the UK, there were over 70,000 total reported assaults on NHS staff, with in 2016, with 1 in 4 hospital staff having experienced physical abuse across the world.
Dr. Ian Smith and Dr. Rebecca Ashton looked into the experiences of staff over a period of 18 months. Their report found that verbal and physical aggression was mostly found in the accident and emergency departments.
Paul Muldoon, professor here at the university, has received the Queen's Gold Medal for Poetry. The Poetry Medal Committee recommended Professor Muldoon for this year's award based on his body of work.
Last week was the final of Bailrig FM's Battle of the Bands. The Trip managed to win the competition, and here's a look at one of their songs from Heat 2.
This is The Trip!
Thank you, we are The Trip. This song is called All Tonight. It's one of our own. I wanna see it rise. I wanna know it's time.
So there we saw the winners of Battle of the Bands, and if you missed any of that, you can go onto the LA1TV website to catch up with that. So now we are joined by Hazel and Will from the LGBTQ Society. Thank you for joining us. So it's LGBTQ History Month. Yes. What does that mean?
So February is LGBTQ plus History Month, and it's basically an entire month where we get to celebrate kind of how far we've come in terms of rights, think about where we still want to do some work, and generally celebrate diversity in all of its forms.
Whoop, whoop.
So what kind of events are happening as part of this month then?
Well, we've had quite a lot going. We've had our usual weekly events, so we do a coffee evening every Monday, and we have our meetings where we plan more of our active-based stuff on Wednesday. We've had talks. Most of you probably knew about the Ian McKellen talk that the Staff Network organised. What else have we done? Absolutely loads of stuff.
So much, can't remember.
Film viewings, and we've got penultimate social at the end of the month on Friday.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've got an open mic on Wednesday as well, in one of the filed lecture theatres. You're all welcome to come along.
What time is that?
7.
7.
Yes.
7 filed.
Yeah. Wednesday.
Awesome. Okay. And you mentioned the social on Friday. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
It's a bar crawl that starts on campus in Trev Bar at 7:30, and then we end up in town, and we go to Sugar, who've agreed to put on a LGBT event for us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what's the importance of kind of the LGBTQ plus History Month? So, do you think? So, I guess I wonder, being gay myself, because I've grown up kind of in a time when it's okay, to, you know. Do you think we, as younger people, tend to forget the history of the people who've come before us?
I think there can be a tendency to not necessarily forget, but to not always remember, if that makes sense. So people know about it, but they don't think about it very much.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, personally I find it really important to go look what things used to be like and look at how much better it is now, as well as saying look how far we still have to go in terms of acceptance in a wider variety of cultures.
Because I don't know about you guys, but I found it quite shocking when Ian McKellen came. He was talking about how when he was, you know, our age, it was illegal to be gay, which is just, you know, the fact that it's happened in such a short amount of time is quite scary, I think.
It definitely, I don't know, to me it feels like something that was hundreds and hundreds of years ago almost, because that wasn't my lifetime. And you do still have people who can remember that, and I think it's important to acknowledge that, and acknowledge that things haven't always been so good, and then to go, look, it's better now.
But you say it's better, which it obviously is. It's all good, right? Except it's not perfect. So where do you think our next steps are? Kind of what needs to be done? Because obviously just having, you know, being allowed to exist now, great.
Yes.
Being allowed to marry, great. But that's obviously not the end point. So what else do we need to do for equality?
I'd say, like, in terms of legislation, we're doing pretty well, but it's about putting that into practice and making it more culturally and socially acceptable everywhere. That there are still a lot of people who are against the concept of being gay. Not that it's something you choose, but and if you do, why would that be a bad thing? Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I think it can start in schools, really. You have like more education, especially in like sex ed, about not just about heterosexuals. Then it can be a lot more. People can grow up learning about it, and then eventually, when they get to an older age, they can have a better understanding of it.
Yeah, definitely.
So now, very good, you know, this whole month thing happening, all these events. If you'd have to rank them, what was your favourite one? Where you'd say, well, wasn't that cool?
Personally, I'd have to say the Ian McKellen talk was
Kind
a
of expecting
highlight.
Yeah.
I was quite fortunate, and I was allowed to meet him afterwards as part of my role, which was really exciting, and it was really nice to get to talk to him a little bit.
Wow.
So that was a definite highlight. Best Valentine's Day ever.
I've heard that from a lot of people. Yeah. So like something like that event though, what's your part in kind of organising that in a way? Like how far does your involvement go in that?
Well, full hands up, Ian McKellen was organised by the LGBT Staff Network, not us.
Okay.
But we do a lot of work promoting things. So we're quite up for generally promoting events done by anyone. So Women Plus Forum do quite a lot of things that are LGBT focused as well, and we kind of coordinate there. And we do try and make an effort to get speakers in and get events on and campaigns and workshops. Last year we did quite a lot of workshops to teach people about different identities, and we're really looking at ways this year that we can move that forward and make that a bit more interactive and get more people involved.
Yeah. So I guess this is part of your work as the LGBTQ plus part-time officer. What does this kind of role also entail?
I do, it sort of depends what you want to make it. So you act as the equivalent of a president of a society for the association or forum or relative liberation group. And then I do quite a lot of work. I've got a desk that I can use in LUSU, Lancaster Students' Union. So I do quite a lot of work there, talking to the full-time officers and working out how we can do stuff together. So the VP Welfare and Community is the person I work most closely with, Sophia. And so we're currently looking at doing something with all the part-time officers together, which you may hear about in the upcoming weeks.
Ooh, watch this space.
Yeah. So it really depends what you want to do with it, which
Yeah.
is what I really like about the role.
Awesome. So outside of this month, what do the society and get up to?
Well, we've actually got our biggest event coming up of the term, which is our trip to Canal Street, which is on the 16th. So we're going to do a bar crawl through Canal Street, obviously, and then end up at GAY. But yeah, that's our biggest termly social.
How can people get involved in that if they'd like to?
Well, we've got our sugar social on Friday, so we haven't started planning Canal Street yet, but we're going to do it in the next after the social. But then essentially we'll start ticket sales about a week or two beforehand, and then we'll put on the page when we'll be selling tickets. Usually it'll be in Trev Bar, and I'll be there for a couple of hours just selling tickets. Tickets will be about £15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still confirming prices.
Yeah.
And does that include transport down
Yeah,
and back?
to and from, yeah.
Makes sense. So what is your role within?
I'm the socials convener along with another socials sec called Amy, and then I essentially just plan. We plan alcoholic socials, but we also try and fit in some non-alcoholic as well.
I remember in like one of the first weeks I was here, you did a pudding plod, which I annoyingly couldn't go to, but I was like, that's the best idea. Just going around eating cake and stuff. That was like, yeah. If you fancy doing that again sometime on like Tuesdays are good. just throwing that out there. So what about students who may not yet feel comfortable going to a society, kind of maybe questioning but aren't so sure if they want to come out yet, things like that? What would you say to those people?
I think, to me, the best suggestion I can give is find somebody you can talk to, and it doesn't have to be a big coming out to a friend or family member. It can just be, hey, I'm not sure, I'm a bit confused. So we have welfare officers who hold welfare hours. You can either talk to them or they'll point you in the right direction of specific support, or you can message our Facebook page and we'll do our best to help. But I think if you can find someone to talk to or something that it means that you know that you're not alone and you're not the only person having this crisis, I think that's the most helpful thing I can suggest.
So the society isn't just about having fun, it's about supporting as well.
Yes. I mean, in the first week after Freshers, we had it was National Coming Out Day, and we had the Coming Out Safe Space, and we had quite a few new people there, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
Do you ever like join up with other societies and like collaborations or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do. Yeah, we've had quite a lot of collaborations with the other diversity
Yeah.
societies.
The open mic we're doing on Wednesday, in fact, is a collaboration between us, Writers Society and Poetry Cafe. So we're kind of we're using the same time slot as Poetry Cafe so people know when it's happening.
Yeah.
And using that as a basis to say, hey, celebrate. Yeah, so we like to collaborate. We're always open to collaboration if people are interested in doing stuff with us.
So at LA1, so maybe we can talk.
Yeah. So what are some of the goals that you've got with the society? Is there anything you'd still like to, implement? I guess, I don't know.
So one of the really good pieces of practice that's gone through the Students' Union is, it sounds really simple, but putting pronouns on the end of emails in your signature where it says your name and everything. And that's something that I'd personally like to see spread across the whole university because it makes it much more simple for lecturers and for students to talk to each other and use the correct pronouns. And it sort of encourages that visibility of non-binary people and people who use alternative pronouns.
Yeah. And it normalises it, doesn't
Yeah.
it? More people who use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Well, hopefully that can happen in the future.
Yeah.
You got any other ambitions?
Oh,
Either for the society or for your role, anything.
I mean, for the role, visibility is always at the forefront. It's how, and the society, it's how can we get out there, how can we get more people involved, what can we do better. Having just started the role in January, to me it's been very much about what was really good about the last year and what the last part-time officer did, but what can I do that people haven't seen in a while or would like us to do. So it's really making sure that we can do things that people like.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Do things that people don't like.
I'd just like to finally point out your jumper that you've got on right now. It's just so colourful. Can you take us through the design? Just take us through some of the themes employed by it.
Trust Toby to look at the fashion part.
Do you actually want me to?
Yeah, clearly he's embarrassed, so we'll just point out that it's amazing.
It was very good.
Thank you.
Anyway, thank you very much for being here anyway. Here's a look at what's coming up on campus this week.
So there's another bystander intervention training session tomorrow at 3 p.m. The event aims to train participants about bystander intervention for harassment and bullying, as well as providing information on how to shape our campus community.
Also tomorrow there's a free yoga session with Lindsay. The session will be in Cartmel, Brandrig at 8 p.m. For more information you can email louyoga@lancaster.ac.uk.
On Thursday, Lonsdale College are heading to a trampoline park. As part of their chilled Lonnie on tour, they will be heading to Energy Trampoline Park in Preston. Tickets are £10 and include coach transfer, park entry and sock hire.
Pendle and Grad College are having a night out in Manchester on Friday night. The night includes coach transport to and from Manchester, as well as guaranteed free entry to Factory before 11:30 p.m. There are only 63 spaces though, so if you want to if you want to go, I guess what I'm trying to say, then get in contact with Pendle's VP for event, the one and only John Clayton.
On Saturday, the South Asian Ball is happening in Lancaster. The cross-cultural celebration is being hosted by the Lancaster Tamil, Hindu and Pakistani Society, aiming to showcase cultural heritages. There will be a series of welcome drinks, 3-course meal and performances from groups such as Big Band and Shikar Productions. Tickets are only £20 and you can get them by contacting any of the Society's Facebook pages.
Well, that's already it for this week's episode. We hope everyone had a great week and we shall see you all next week for another episode of Good Morning Lancaster.
Bye!
Goodbye.